Here, just Dan back with the sub two screw ups. Now, I have found people that have more interesting stories than me. There's a lot of people out there that have screwed up in all kinds of real estate. You will not find a successful real estate person who has not screwed up multiple times. And here I got the master of Mount Airy, right? The king of West Maryland. It's Chris Thompson. Thank you for doing this. I want to hear, because you have a serious history, right? You've been in real estate for a long time.
18 years, yeah.
Wow. So what was your journey? You started out as an agent?
Started out as an agent, got out of college in 06, couldn't find a job to, at least pay the bills or anything like that. My dad was a realtor and was like, and I was on scholarship, went to school full time, had 3 jobs, but my parents still supported me through everything.
Right.
Extremely grateful. And then it was post-college and it was like, hey, you got 60 days. What are you talking about? So you're cut off, or you're moving home, and you're going into real estate. So 75 days later, I moved home extremely broke, and I was in real estate school the next week. I bought my first house on the courthouse steps, foreclosure auction. That was a very interesting experience. Thankfully, it was only me versus the bank, but at 23 years old, it was a whole new world for me.
Right.
Went through real estate. I picked up a handful of rental properties. Traditionally, I'd flipped a handful. So ultimately, between the rentals and flips, probably 10 or 15, until I found sub 2. And what made me basically search on YouTube University to find something was when I got in the market in 06, it just took a nosedive.
Good timing.
2020, 2021, it skyrocketed back up, similar to 05. So I'm like, this is going to change. I don't know what, I don't know how. And that's
neither does anyone else, by the way.
Yeah, right. And that's when I just started, searching YouTube University for answers. And that's when I stumbled on Pace. Watched him for probably about 30 hours before I made the call to join. Maybe 2 years since I joined, and it's probably been the best decision I've ever made.
Amazing. Amazing.
Work-wise, wife and kids totally take precedent.
And then you're now nationwide, right? I mean, you got doors everywhere.
Yeah, I am currently in 6 different markets. Especially starting out, I suffered really bad from shiny object syndrome, and I was just bouncing all over the place. Dude, I tried every different strategy. I was going to be retired in 6 months, and I was quickly humbled. Thankfully, now I have my focus down, but I'm still currently in 6 states. My main focus now is only 3, and just 3 markets that I know like the back of my hand now, just from study and research. But I made plenty of mistakes along the way, no different than, everybody out there. You don't succeed your way to success, you fail your way to success, and living proof.
So that's a great segue. So give me an example. So tell me one of your the sub 2 screw up stories, or just a general screw up that's something that like someone who's newer or less experienced would benefit from learning from.
The best advice that I can give is do more due diligence than you think is necessary. And then when you think you've done enough, do more. Especially when you're going into a new market. For example, I bought a house in Cleveland from a wholesaler, and obviously being from Maryland, I looked at the price and was like, this is the greatest thing I've ever seen.
Right.
I paid too much for it. I got taken advantage of by a contractor that I did diligence on, just clearly not enough.
Right.
Issue after issue after issue. And I got another couple thousand to put into it, and I have a tenant going in next month. It's a duplex. They're only going into part of it, but that will at least kind of stop the bleeding, so to speak.
So would you not have done the deal if you knew now what you knew at the beginning?
I would still do the deal, but I would, obviously have the team in place, and no different than Pace teaches us. First, find your money, then build your team, and then find the deal. And if I could give any advice to anybody, take that advice.
Is this for any? That's for now. I'm guessing that's even more true for flips, right? Because
yeah, definitely more true for flips. And I mean, predominantly, yeah, I do flips, but predominantly I'm a buy and hold guy. I like the passive income.
Who doesn't?
And I'm trying to get out of, all the other stuff that I'm, tied up with day to day.
Right.
And then also the generational wealth for the kids and so on and so forth, build the empire, all that fun stuff.
Take over the world, whatever.
Yeah, of course. Take over the world. So I got somebody moving in there, so that'll kind of stop the bleeding on it. But working with my contractor out there, Matthias Holden, he got me hooked up with a group home person. And there's a couple more updates I have to do in the house to get it to that level, but I'm just going to put a plain long-term tenant in there, build up more cash flow, and then I'll go in and renovate it. But I'm looking at putting 6 bodies in that thing for $850 a head, $5,100 a month net in my pocket every month is going to be $2,000 to $2,500. So, and I'm pretty sure it's Hormozy that said, the only people who fail are the ones that don't start and the ones that quit.
Right.
I'm way too damn stubborn to quit. So
So Matthias Holder was the savior, and you should have used him as your contractor from the beginning because he does contracting.
Yes.
So I think
I should have. I already had the money, so I should have built my team before I just dove into something versus taking somebody's referral, who I thought I could trust. Clearly not. So if I'd have had that in place, it would have not been a nightmare story. But hopefully, once everything works out and everything's on a good track now. So, but in 2 years, it's going to put $2,500 a month net in my pocket. Right. Well, so it started out miserable, but it'll end in the Cinderella story, hopefully.
Right. So there's a book by Simon Sinek called The Infinite Game. He says business is not a game that it's like who wins or loses. He says in business, the game is to stay in the game. Right. So that's exactly what happened to you, right? You get kind of screwed by a contractor. It really squeezes you. But you found a way, thanks to the network, right? Your network saves you. The subject community for the win. Matthias Holder, shout out, right? And you stay in the game, and if you stick with it, 1-2 years from now, it'll be paying for itself. And you won't even remember this contractor. Okay, so thanks so much, guys. If you want to connect with somebody who knows, Chris, do you have your own channel? Do you have your own website?
I would say Instagram is my biggest one. That's the one I'm probably the most active on. It's just Chris Thompson Real Estate. YouTube, Facebook, all those things, pretty much all the same name. It's all the same content, but Instagram is probably the easiest way to get me because that's the one I'm the most active on.
And just for the record, it's your network, it's your experience, right? It's your network and it's your experience, right? Your network, your experience, not your beard, which gives you your power. Is that correct?
Absolutely.
Got it. Okay, good.
The beard's what keeps me warm when I keep driving back and forth to Ohio to go work on a bunch of flips that I'm doing right now.
Got it. Okay, good. So thank you so much for doing this. And hopefully we'll find hopefully in the future, it won't be so many screw ups. It'll be a little bit more just all the good stories. You could be like,
I want to be on the next series. I want to be on the next series.
The next series is I'm the real estate magnate that never makes a mistake.
Absolutely.